I don't think that. All right, are we ready, everybody?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and of course, and we are talking today about the 1966 movie, Daleks Invasion Earth 2158. This one, I don't know. It was kind of weird seeing the Daleks in color. Sorry, yeah, that's what 66. I keep forgetting. It's kind of weird, you know. We get to see the Daleks in color again, and this is yet again another modification of a Doctor Who episode from the Hartnell era. And once again, we have Peter Cushing back in the saddle as, Doctor Who. But of course, we have a couple other cast changes, such as, the Ian guy is gone, Jenny Linden's character is gone, but of course, we still got Roberta Tovey as Susan. Okay, but let's go around. Let's get intros from everybody. Let's start with AJ. Say hello, AJ.
Hello. How are you guys?
All right, Kevin.
Hello.
Harry.
Greetings, one and all.
William.
Hey now, how you doing, everybody?
Graham.
Evening, dearies.
Elijah. I think he's been robotized.
He got busted by his grandparents.
Oh. There we go.
Texas Tim.
Hello there.
And joining us once again, Alex.
Sponsored by Sugar Puffs.
You saw the signs too, huh? Okay, this one, I don't know. This one did not do as well at the box office, because if it had, they were actually talking to making a third one, which would have been based off The Chase, which is kind of sad it didn't get made, because I look at it this way. If, a certain person hadn't rescued those early episodes of Doctor Who before they got incinerated, the Cushing movies would have been the closest thing we had to having these things on film. Kind of a weird thought, ain't it? Okay, but let's get opening thoughts from everybody. Let's start at the bottom. Let's start with Alex. What were your opening thoughts on Daleks Invasion Earth 2158?
Well, again, like with the first one, I grew up with this. It's something I've literally seen both of them hundreds of times in my childhood. And it's got a lot going. I generally prefer the first one because it's got a sort of mystery and a sort of magic. This one, you realise, and I remember the trailers as well, they're on the DVD, they trail it with lots of action, and yet it's a very action-packed, very fast film. So fast is this film that 10 minutes in, you're already in the second episode in terms of what's going on. And I think the Robo-Men are realised better, except for the one deliberately comedic scene where they're basically eating Smarties off a plate. But you can copy that as a kid. That's fun. I think you mentioned the casting changes. Really weird that is it Louise, the character? She comes from nowhere. We have no idea what relation she is to anyone, but whatever. I think it's another fun, action-packed film. Some of the scenes are done brilliantly. Great supporting cast, including Philip Maddock as the Black Marketeer. I'd say the second half's a lot better than the first half. I think that the first half is a bit kind of boom, 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 and the second half's got some structure. Great climax. And, of course, Bernard Cribbins. You've got to love Bernard Cribbins.
Oh, heck yeah. You got to love Bernard Cribbins, especially when, going on, it was like, going on 40-something years on, he pops up as Wilfred Mott. Man.
He's a national institution. He's a musician as well. He's one of the Wombles voices, if you know the Wombles. That's how you knew they wouldn't kill Wilfred Moth in Doctor Who, because that would be like killing Santa,
Okay, next up, Graham.
For me, well, as Alex alluded to there, you've got the always fantastic, Bernard Cribbins. Stellar outing for him in this. Peter Cushing, I don't know what it was, but I preferred him in the first movie. I don't know.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to explain in a minute about the Peter Cushing thing when it was my turn. I'll explain why.
Yeah, I did prefer him in the first movie. It wasn't bad in this. It seemed a bit off. I can't really put my finger on it. I love the character of Weller, the grumpy old Scotsman had to be in there somewhere, so that's just trademark. The Daleks, it was cool to see them in colour, but that's the first time I've ever saw a fire extinguisher cause a fire. In regards to when that shack, tool shack got blew up.
Yeah. The Robo men in this have proper ray guns, and the Daleks are still shooting vapor. I've got an e-cig that can recreate what those Daleks do.
There you go. But for an hour and 25 minutes, Brian, that's an enjoyable outing. Can't grumble.
I don't know, but to me, the Robomen kind of like reminded me of Poor Men Judge Dredd imitations. I don't. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the helmets.
And PVC suits, I might add. Yeah.
Okay, next up, Kevin.
This was my first time viewing it. When I saw the first minute, it was very strange because then I saw Wilfred Mott. It was so strange, and then he's in it. Bernard Cribbins. Oh, that was a lovely surprise.
Yes, when he was a policeman in the 60s and he hadn't changed his name yet.
And I liked it. It was a fun action-packed movie. Peter Cushing as the Doctor was good to watch for it. The Daleks. It was very strange because when they said exterminate, I don't know what they, did, but this was some gas that came out of their pipes or something. That was very strange for me, but it was funny. The Robo Man, like Ryan said, that they look like the Judge Dredd ones, the costume. Yeah, it looks very like Judge Dredd. But the Smarties scene when the Robo men are eating, that was funny. That was really funny. I liked it, and that's so far.
Okay. Now, one other thing I did notice when I was watching the movie. London must have been a really dangerous city come 2150 AD, because did everybody notice that there were just tire irons and like crowbars lying around everywhere for guys to pick up? They'll just be wandering around. Next thing you know, someone's got a tire iron. Next thing you know, someone's got a crowbar. Next thing, wow, they left a lot of stuff lying around. They got invaded. Okay, let's move on to Elijah. What'd you think? Opening thoughts.
Well, this was my first time actually watching this one. I remember going to Walmart about a year ago and finding these T-shirts that said Doctor Who and the Daleks, and I was wondering why do they do it Dr.Who, and then the Daleks had like Pincher. Lo and behold, I found out that there was a doctor played by Peter Cushing, and actually in color, which I thought was very cool. And like you said, if a certain someone hadn't found the Daleks, the first one would have been the closest thing we would have had. But this one, it went really quick. I felt that as soon as Bernard Cribbins' character entered the TARDIS, it was basically zoom, you're there. Very good story. And yeah, the special effects with the Daleks and the fire extinguisher bit could have been better, but I guess that's what they had to work with the budget. Overall, good story.
Okay, next up, William, go on ahead.
This is not really it did come out in 1966. Again, it's a story of its time. Because since this wasn't a TV series that was not shown in the United States then, that's why you see the Daleks using extinguisher, not ray guns like that. Unlike the Roban who did use ray guns. As for answering Graham's question about Louise, she is supposed to be the Doctor's niece.
That was Alex's question. Sorry, that was Alex's question.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Sorry, is she ever referred to as the niece?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I stand.
It's all right. It's all right. But the funny thing is, he never talks about what happened to the other two from the first film. So we don't know.
Maybe they got married.
They never talk about that.
Actually, knowing that version of Ian, he probably got them killed somehow.
The reason I had to do some checking. I found out the reason why it didn't make the money back was because it went over budget. It filmed like almost 2 weeks late, and Peter Cushing was seriously ill, so that's how come his scenes was reduced a lot. From the first one, he was really ill. I heard he was really ill, so that's why they went over budget and it went over and it finished very late. So they didn't make back his money because it spent too much money. And there was a lot of accidents that was going on there too. Like when the scene when the guy hits the windshield when he was driving with Susan, he got his arm hurt real bad. The guy that was jumping around in the beginning, that he was trying to invade the Daleks, that he got shot down. He broke his ankle from that jump.
They had to bring him back to do the shot where he actually gets killed, and his leg was actually in a cast. They just stopped that. And did you know that guy is was Christopher Lee's stunt double? And think how much like Christopher Lee he looks, and he even sounds like him. It's quite spooky. So when you go back and look at that, that's Christopher Lee's like official stunt double for years.
It wasn't that bad. The movie is not that bad. Again, it's a part of its time. But when we talk a little bit more, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to the little nitpick. I'm going to talk about it later on.
Well, the one I want to point out right away. Did you notice that after towards the end, when he gives the command for the Robomen to attack the Daleks, suddenly all their freaking helmets are missing?
No. This is one of my nitpicks. When he gives the command, they all drop their guns. I'm like, what?
Exactly. You'd think they use those big ray cannons to blast the Daleks. And it's like, okay, I'm going to take on a Dalek. Take off the helmet. That's a good idea. All right. All right, moving on. Tim, what was your opening thoughts on this one?
Pretty much the same as last week. I mean, it's just a fun romp, isn't it? It's like just an hour and 20 minutes. I don't think you need an explanation as to what happened to the characters last week. It's just it is what it is. It's an action movie with Daleks and Doctor Who. So it's just it's a lot of fun. I was surprised that it didn't do better in the theaters. I mean, I guess what you're saying, Will, is it just didn't make its money back as far as what they put into it or what they invested.
They had to spend an extra £50,000 for those extra 2 weeks.
I read that Cushing didn't mention either of these films in his autobiography, but I guess that's not surprising since he had so many movies under his belt.
Well, there are lots of biographies of his as well. I know David Miller's biography of his definitely talks about them. But yeah, so hang on. They were sponsored by Sugar Puffs, and they still didn't have enough money.
Guess the Cookie Monster was when they got the deceased bank manager.
They had a budget, but due to the illness and the injuries, they went over. Yeah, that's why.
I'm now imagining them replacing the Slither with the Honey Monster.
Well, there you go.
£86,000. Now, for a '66 movie, that's a chunk of change. Yeah, you're right. Okay, Harry, what'd you make of this movie?
To me, I had some small problems with it at the beginning. You had the change in Ian from being what he was in the first movie to being Barbara's boyfriend to being a police officer. Barbara, replaced by another actress of another name. Both girls referring to the doctor as his granddaughters, not as nieces, but as granddaughters. I mean, maybe I'm being nitpicky, but to me, if you're going to do a movie like that, it kind of has some continuity. I mean, agreed. They had better control of the TARDIS in this movie than they did in the first, but still, I don't know. I mean, they also cut out some of the stuff that was great in the original TV version, like the Slytherin monster and such. I mean, I know they had to do some stuff for the movie, but still, it just didn't work for me as well as the first Dalek movie did. And that's about best I can say on it. It just did not work as well.
Yeah, I've always preferred the first one, but I had a big appreciation of this one this time around. I think because I saw it in a different way. It's been a few years. My girlfriend, who couldn't be here for the podcast, watched it with me and said that was the most 1960s thing I've ever seen. I think they both are, though. They're combined.
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, it is a good thing. I kind of think this would be a great double bill to put on. Actually, I've seen this film on the big screen, the special outdoor screening they had, and that's the kind of thing it is. If you're lying in the grass on a hot day with a beer, they should have done them both as a double bill. But everybody not familiar with it would be hit by this amazing wave of 60s-ness. But yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
Also, another quick thing to notice. Did you notice that the interior of the TARDIS doors in this movie were white? I can't help but wonder if they carried that over when they made the 2005 TARDIS for Eccleston. That's why
I think Russell T Davies said that the reason he did the doors the way he did is because he loves the 60s films. But actually, we're talking about the TARDIS interior in this film. Sorry to talk so much. Did anybody else notice the doors are standalone and the backdrop is black drapes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, the doors open outward.
Man, once again, there's no lock on the door. Somebody walks right in there.
No, he explained that. Yeah. He unmagnetized it as he pushed it home.
Oh yeah, they did explain that. Just the TD magnetized. Yep. They
Yeah.
did explain that. Yep.
Okay, AJ, you're up next.
Yeah, this movie I thought was probably a little bit better than the first one. It was quite evenly paced. I like the miniatures and the special effects for this movie, the explosions and all that. They did really well with that. And also the TARDIS interior doesn't look like a junkyard anymore. It looks like a sort of proper futuristic time vessel. So did good job.
Yeah, it didn't look as much like it was built at Radio Shack this time. You know, it was more futuristic. You know, they didn't have the little girly batons with the glitter in them, and this time the Daleks didn't have lava lamps. Oh well.
No doobies.
Maybe that's why they had those little things instead of the sucker arm. How can you hold a blunt with a plunger? Oh well. Okay, let's go on to favorite scenes. Oh heck, let's just go totally random. Let's start with Harry. What are your favorite scenes in this movie?
I'd say my favorite scene is when the bomb goes off and draws all the Daleks in to get crushed and destroyed.
Alrighty. What about you, AJ?
When the Dalek ship blows up the van, that shot right there, I thought it was pure magic.
Oh yeah, shoo boom.
Yeah.
Poor van. Plus, I love the fact that little teeny tiny van was just driving down the street, knocking dollars out of the way. Bam.
Yeah.
Okay, you next, Elijah.
I'd have to say my favorite bit has to be when they're in the room where the Robomen are supposed to be, and he accidentally knocks the switch and all the food's coming out. That was hilarious. It's one of my favorites out of this movie.
Kind of like a classic Lucille Ball routine. That's what. Okay, you next, Tim.
Yeah, I'd agree with Elijah the bit, where he's trying to pretend like he's a Robo-Man, and he's not really. He's just trying to so he's like 1 second behind them and stuff. Also, I noticed that Philip Maddock is in this. I didn't know that, but he's in it. He's got a pretty big part towards the
Oh yeah, he's awesome in this.
Oh yeah, he was. A matter of fact, wasn't the old lady in the shack in Doctor Who later on?
Oh, possibly.
The one that gave them the soup.
She was in The Unearthly Child. She was one of the cave women, and she also appeared in Creature from the Pit.
Because I knew
Time Meddler as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the one that got ravaged in the Time Meddler. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. What was that?
But yeah, Philip Maddock is in the Crotons and War Games, and of course, mainly he's Professor Solon in Brain of Morbius. Just to for anyone who didn't know.
Okay, you next, William.
I liked it how some of the scenes copied it from the original TV episodes, like when the Dalek came out of the water. Even though it was a quick shot, it looked real good. And of course, the two ladies betraying Susan and the other guy, like the way they did the TV episode. Yeah, that stood out pretty good. One other thing that stood out for me was, of course, when the doctor was trying to escape with David, and in the sewer system, and David had to lift the lid up and almost got hit by the Daleks. That stood out pretty good. I liked that.
All right, you up next, Alex.
I'm glad that Philip Maddock was brought up because I love the way that the Black Marketeer, who I know he has a name and I can't remember, Rushton,
Broccoli.
Oh, is that maybe they changed his name from the TV version? I think it's really well done in the TV version too. But if you remember, in the TV version, he's killed by the Slither, and the Slither isn't exactly a favourite Doctor Who monster. In fact, the Honey Monster would be better. But all of that bit, because it's so real, the women betray them for food because they're that desperate. The way that the Black Marketeer has got to be punished. And the way he plays it, because Philip Maddock, he gives it that little bit of World War II type acting, like he's some kind of Nazi double agent or that kind of character. That he just had that quality. He almost sounds a little bit German. There's something the way the whole thing is done. I think those scenes, so that whole bit with that character, I think is my favourite.
Okay, you up next, Graham.
I'd have to agree with Alex. I mean, for Philip Maddock's part, so far as I'm led to believe, the only actor to be killed in a movie, by fire as a result of a fire extinguisher. I'm sorry, I know I keep harping back to that, but
it took 8 Daleks to blow up one small wooden building.
And the other thing that strikes me, I know it was for comedic purposes, but I love the part where Bernard Cribben's trying to walk in time with the Robo-Men before they get fed. Stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. I harpened back to me for something similar to Dick Van Dyke and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with the old bamboo number, so quality 60s comedy, quality.
And of course, futuristic food. One day, let's look forward to when we're all eating Smarties off a little plate.
But just for anyone listening, no, we're not talking about a certain narcotic kiddies, we're talking about the sweeties.
Oh, sorry, right, Smarties are basically the British version of M&M's.
Well, we get M&M's here too, so that's...
I get Smarties here too.
I think they're called Skittles.
No, we get them as well.
No, Skittles aren't chocolate. No. M&M's and Smarties are chocolate that come in different colours. Skittles are a different kind of sweet.
You're watching the Dalek invading of Earth on the Omega Files, and lots of candy.
I just think it's so obvious that we're meant to think, they're different coloured pills that the Robo-Men eat. You know that they just went to a local corner shop and bought some Smarties. I
know, but the funny thing is, when they get programmed to get up again, Tom Campbell, Bernard Cribben's characters fell asleep. And you're like, wake up, big man.
God, you must
anywhere.
Yeah, quality stuff.
All right, you next, Kevin.
I liked it. Of course. Also, that Bernard. I'm just gonna call Wilfred because I cannot.
Tom.
Yeah. I liked it. Tom, pretending he was a Robo-Man. That was just funny with the eating and stuff. I liked it. Also, the scene that the Doctor was betrayed by the grey suited guy, when he was going outside, and then the Doctor said, "I expected that," and then all 8 Daleks with a fire extinguisher.
I still heavily suspect that Broccoli survived that transport back in time, and his son was John Constantine. I'm not kidding. He's the only guy running around in a freaking raincoat or trench coat, and he's wearing a suit and a tie. It's like, come on, the Earth's been invaded. It kind of, if you just loosen up the tie, I'm like, oh look, there's Constantine, the early years.
And I liked it, the scene with the big explosion of the ship at the end. There's a boom, man. That was just cool to see in the 1966 film, And it was in color, so yeah.
Guys,
Okay.
can I just ask? It's only just occurred to me. The two women sell people out to the Daleks. They get extra food. A bloke
Yeah.
does it. He gets shot.
Yeah.
Sexist.
Sexism right there in the 1960s, people.
Mhm.
Well, you see, at least they were, doing something for the Daleks. He was just useless.
Yeah.
One can only wonder.
They're fixing clothes and stuff for them, the workers and all that. You see, they had some use. Daleks don't do stitchery. Okay, let's go for favorite characters. Let's start with AJ. Favorite characters?
Yeah, for me, Tom is a favorite character. The Doctor, obviously. The Daleks, they're pretty good. The two old women that sell out the Susan and the old guy, that was pretty good too. Those characters.
Okay, Harry, who are your favorite characters in this one?
If I had to choose a favorite, it had to be our friendly neighborhood black marketeer betrayer. I did so well. You didn't know what was going on until the Doctor stepped out of the cabin, and there were the Daleks waiting for him. I mean, that was playing the character to a T.
Plus, he was the only guy in a full suit, trench coat, and he's got cigarettes.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Tim. Favorite character?
Well, I'd say Tom steals the show, doesn't he? I mean, he's great throughout. I really like the way the Doctor drops him off 5 minutes before he left, so he can catch the jewel thieves. And then when he's driving off, then So yeah, he steals the show. He's great.
Detective Inspector OB.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Okay, Kevin. Favorite characters? You're going to stick with Bernard Cribbins, aren't you?
Yes, of course. That was the biggest surprise in this whole movie for me, that he was in it. I loved it, that character from the 2005, and now he was in this one. Wilfred or Tom, I don't know. The Daleks and Doctor Who and the cabin man. I'm just gonna call him that. The grey suited betrayer.
Okay, next up, William. Oh, we can't hear you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh, what happened? My mic was off.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Tom sticks out because, of course, he did a lot of the stuff in the episode, in the story. But I wish I could say Susie, because the way she was in the first movie. Unfortunately, she did the 5 doctors that hurt her ankle in the beginning. So she don't stands out. But the only other one that stands out is David. The ways he helped everybody in certain ways. And I'm a little bit happy that the story didn't end the same way the Dalek Invasion TV series ended. And the only other one that stands out, of course, is Broccoli. The way he was selling, taking jewelry and all that, so he could sneak in food. And then he saw that the Doctor, and he got his justice right there. Those are the ones that really stuck out. The Doctor, I would say he stands out, but like due to his illness, he wasn't used that much in the story.
Okay, Graham?
For me, well, again, everybody keeps mentioning Broccoli. He's sneaky, he's cunning, he's maniacal, he's devious. He got his comeuppance, and he was fantastic in the role. Bernard Cribbins, of course, is Tom Campbell, superb. You can't grumble with Bernard Cribbins. He always puts in a solid outing. But for me, I want to give huge praise to Andrew Kerr as well. The portrayal of the sceptical, grumpy, snarling Scotsman lumbered with the injured kid. Solid outing for him as well. Good show.
Okay, Elijah?
I'm going to have to go with Bernard Cribbins' character, but also I'm going to have to go with the 2 ladies in that house that they, when they're actually working for the Daleks. That was kind of a shocker, but very, very cool that they had that in there. So I'd have to say those two.
Now, you know, I mean, sorry to interrupt you there, Elijah. The only bit that got me was a bit at the end. Well, they wanted to go to the mind anyway. I wanted to slap that muck, man.
I know. There were a couple of smart asses. Well, they wanted to go to the mine anyway. Oh, God. Okay, next up, Alex.
Tempted to say, I think, isn't he called Ashton? Well, it's called Ashton. The Black Marketeer is called Ashton in the TV version, but yeah, the Philip Maddock character, because you've got to love a villain, and also even in a creature feature, you know, humans are still the real villains. You know, humans who betray humans. But Tom Campbell is such a great character. He's played by Bernard Cribbins, even from the line, it can't be Sunday. I'm playing football Sunday. You know, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to agree, Tom Campbell.
Okay, James jumped in late. Let's get him caught up. Hello, James. How you doing?
Hey guys, sorry about the being late. Had something come up.
Okay, throw us your favorite scenes from this movie.
Invasion of Earth, yeah. Oh god, there's so many to choose from. I do particularly like the Dalek scene, the red Dalek, where he's saying, you know, oh, just chuck him back in the work camps, the ship, and then he just tries to escape, and they just exterminate that guy. I can't remember his name now. Harvey, maybe? I think it was Harvey, I'm not sure. And then he jumps up and the Daleks just exterminate him all over. And that's just really quite, maybe a little bit creepy, a bit dark, you know, the way he dies and he screams. So that was good, because that's what the Daleks are supposed to be. They're supposed to be very scary. And the Row Woman, especially, there's so many good scenes. I mean, even though the flying saucer scene is a bit all over the place, it's hilarious for me. You know, when the roadmen are doing the march and Bernard Cribbins is trying to join with them. So that did make me laugh quite a bit. Obviously, the two ladies, you know, where they actually betray. Because that's human nature, really. They'll do anything for power or a bit of a leeway. That's what a lot of humans do. But really, anything with Bernard Cribbins in was the favourite for me, personally. So.
Okay, do I have to ask favorite characters?
Well, it is Bernard Cribbins, obviously, but Peter Cushing close second. Peter Cushing's great. Absolutely fantastic. Love him. Really good comedy. Really, really good serious and compassion. A little lovely mix of heart, no. But even though not intentionally, there's little hints of Troughton in there, maybe. Little subtle hints from future Doctors, which haven't even happened yet in that timeline. So I do like Peter Cushing as the Doctor quite a lot.
Okay, all right, I'm going to open up the floor for everybody. All right, here's a trivia question. What were the Daleks missing in this one that were in the original serial?
The circle disc on the back so they could move.
Oh, okay.
You see, because they explained in the actual TV serial that these Daleks were getting their power transmitted to them. That's why they had the dishes on the back. That's why they had the metal floors.
But these ones have the vertical slats.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're for.
Yeah. Well, no, they actually had a little satellite dish that was on the back of them.
Oh, in the TV version, yeah, that was to pick up microwave. Yeah, but in the TV, remember, they didn't get the vertical slats until the chase. So, but these ones had the vertical slats, so maybe they are the alternative version to the dishes.
They also do make the Daleks a lot bigger, because the Daleks are rather small without the vertical slats. And also, the reason why they did the dishes is because it's very heavily emphasized in the original serial that the Daleks need to be on metal, and that's how they were defeated many times when they went off the metal surface. So that's why they, went with the dishes on the back, because if they didn't, a lot of, audience members may have been confused back then.
Okay, I'm going to leave the floor open for everybody. What do you think of this one versus the Hartnell version? What was better? What was worse? What was, I know it's kind of apples and oranges, but what do you think they did better? What do you think the original did better? Anybody, just hop on.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My opinion as a Londoner is the original, because there's so much location work, it's got that shock and awe. When they go over Westminster Bridge, it's so iconic. Yes, it's very 1960s and it doesn't look that war-torn. I can identify all the locations because I live here. And this one feels very backlot of a studio. It feels very fake London. The original, it's, oh my god, aliens have invaded London or are occupying London. And this one, it doesn't have that. You've just got like a painting of St. Paul's in the back, because it is a massive painting of St. Paul's. You've got things that are meant to look Londonish. They've obviously got a river, which might be a bit of the Thames. It doesn't feel like Daleks have invaded London like the original. That's my main thing.
Okay, AJ, you had your hand up, then we'll go to William.
Yeah, I was going to say the Robomen in the original one, I preferred those ones with the satellite dish to their head because they could communicate directly with the Daleks that way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do prefer the Robomen in the original serial because they were creepier. They were just outright, they couldn't talk really fast. You could tell, obviously, they'd been messed with. We could only talk like this, I also that headgear. I liked the headgear better because it looked like they were all wired up and stuff. Also, I had to throw in the black and white itself. Now, it just made it that much more creepier. Plus, with a serial, you do have more time, to go into character interaction and all that. And I think that's what also gave the original Dalek Invasion of Earth its magic. Is because you have so many different characters interacting with each other, and there's some really good scenes in there. So, okay, anyone else? Before I do.
Yeah, it's like you said, even though they're apples and oranges, I have to take the William Hartnell one because it's more darker, and it's longer, and it's best remembered because it's the story that Susan leaves. That's why it stands out on its own. This one, even though we find out, about the accidents and all that stuff, it's not a bad film. It's just that they downplay some certain character, like the Roboman. They could have done them a little bit more better. They didn't really explain how the Daleks supposedly survived the last encounter with the Doctor. Just for us to figure it out how that happened, and we didn't get to see we didn't get to find out when did the actual invasion started and what happened to all the military and all other from London and all over the world that they were able to be conquered like that.
One other thing I noticed that was different about this compared to both the regular Dalek series and the TV Dalek Invasion of Earth, the way it was opening credits were set up. It said based on a serial by Terry Nation. It didn't say anything about it was a story. It just said it was based on a serial, or it didn't say anything about the Doctor Who series. It just said based on a serial by Terry Nation. I mean, unless you're a fan of the show, you wouldn't know who Terry Nation was.
I believe the term was based on the TV scripts by Terry Nation.
Yeah, TV serial. I think it's what it said. Yeah, it was based on a TV serial by Terry Nation.
I'll name something I prefer about the movie, if you'd like.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's a movie, and they do have more money to play with. The flying saucer, far superior, obviously. We get some.
I'm gonna have to cut. They had a budget, and it went £50,000 over budget due to accidents and Peter Cushing being sick. So that's why it didn't make its money back. It went over budget. Like everybody here, the cereal company was the one that was putting the money up for the film, and it went over budget. That really hurt the film a lot.
Well, I'm just saying though that the flying saucer is better, obviously, because the original. You've even got the Daleks in the background, which are the paper cutouts. You remember that, yeah? When you first go to the flying saucer. So obviously, if you're going to go with aesthetics, there are some aesthetics which are better. And the flying saucer chase scene with the van, I personally really enjoyed. I thought that was pretty cool. And, obviously we couldn't really get that with the original serial. It's just a bit beyond them, yeah?
You mean they haven't got baking dishes on strings?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Well, I tell you what, that flying saucer was good for the time. No one thinks so? I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I did.
The ones in the movie are good, yeah.
Yeah, they're very, very good. Stands up today, really. You can show that to someone and they can enjoy it and they won't be like, oh, that's a bad special effect. They'll be like, yeah, that's pretty good. Once that 80s, and we'll be like, no, 60s.
Yeah, the saucer effects were really well done for this movie, for the movie. I can agree with you on that. Really well done. Oh, yeah, the saucer model itself was really rad looking.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
And even inside the saucer, very, colourful. And then again, the original movie was quite colourful inside Scarrow itself.
The sets are gorgeous in both of these films. I wish they'd had the chance to use the interior of the main saucer more in this film, because you're already like 50 minutes in. But I suppose they're building up to it. The gold Dalek is the main villain, and
well, I also like that. That's another thing I'll add as well. They more emphasise the Dalek ranks in these movies. With the different coloured Daleks, the red Dalek and the black Dalek in the original, and then got the red, black, and gold in this one. So I do like that because it's a bit of ranking. That's what the Daleks are about.
Yeah. And, as much as I enjoyed this, I have two wee gripes with the whole thing. Number one is some of the fight sequences. I know it was the 60s, but you get better fight sequences out of an episode of Batman with Adam West and Burt Ward. I'm sorry. And the other thing is, did anyone else notice there was a hell of a lot of Daleks just getting pushed in a corner then blowing up? Were they like the weak link of the group? I mean, what the hell, man?
What was ironic is because they were supposed to shoot, flames, but they shot fire extinguishers. But when they exploded, they blasted the flames.
Actually, I heard it's because these Daleks came from Scarro's small moon, Pinto.
No, but for these supervillains, they can get ganged up on pretty easily and pushed about, and you're like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, you're flinging bombs at them all day, and they just keep coming, but then you just throw them down a ramp, and they explode.
Yeah, and it's dead, yeah. Isn't that scene the funny one where it kind of explodes before it lands as well, when it goes down the ramp?
And there's even a scene where, the whole escape for the saucer segment, and, they're squatting people with their fire extinguisher, and people are dropping deed and dying, and then there's actually a scene where, what's her name? Louise gets actually hit with the smoke and keeps running. You're like, continuity error there or what, man? Should you not be dead?
I've got something that was glaringly wrong with it. The end of the movie, where he drops off Tom a few minutes before the bank robbery happens.
Yeah.
The TARDIS lands in the exact same spot where it originally was.
Yeah, that's my another nitpick about that. That ending scene.
How can it occupy the same time and space that it was already occupying to begin with?
Wibbly wobbly timey
wimey.
Yeah, but there'd be two comms running around too.
They should have shown another TARDIS, because remember, Tom has to go in the first one for the story to take place.
No,
by doing it, you almost you just erase the whole film.
Yeah. That's a good point. But another point is, at the end, how the hell did they get back into TARDIS? You had that landslide at the very beginning where all the wood and the bric-a-brac wasn't tapped and they couldn't move it.
Oh yeah, that's explained in the TV version. We don't see that. It's shown in the TV version.
Yeah, David got his people to help them to dig it out. But they don't show it here in the movie. Like, whoa.
It's kind of strange.
The Robo Men help them. Actually, what?
No, this is what I propose. In my mind, this is the scene I picture. They grabbed a bunch of the Robo Men ray guns, went back to that shack, and made them two ladies dig it out.
Oh, there you go, huh? And after that, you can make us some of that meat and potato soup.
I'm thinking, because in the TV version, you had 6 weeks to forget about that stuff about blocking off the TARDIS. In this version, you've only got an hour, and they've not dealt with it. But I'm thinking, actually, that raises a whole other question about this film. Because the Robo-Men are only ordered, in both versions, the Robo-Men are ordered to attack the Daleks. They're not made human again. So shouldn't there be a Shaun of the Dead type ending of what the fuck do we do? Oh, F-bomb again, sorry. What do we do with all the zombies? I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
Can I just do one last point?
Oh, go ahead.
About the Robo-Men. Let's all be honest. The Robo-Men's weapons in this Dalek Invasion Earth movie are far superior to the Daleks. But that thing is cool. It just blows everything up.
Yep.
Like some sort of, why are the Daleks not using that weapon?
Maybe it was a prototype.
And it has more range. It has range. Like the Daleks weapon has it's like a shotgun. If you're away from it, then you're fine. But it's things like that. It's kind of funny. Some of the decisions they made.
But one thing you got to say about you got to remember they're making this for an audience who'd never heard of the show. Basically, they're putting this out worldwide, and Doctor Who, of course, was still only in England at the time, and they had to make it so that anybody who's walking into a film, okay, instead of just going with a serial which explains the story in detail and all that, you got to make something that compresses everything to within 90 minutes, and everybody can just sit down and enjoy the ride. Whereas with a serial, you have time to sit down and explain all this stuff. But for the time, it's still a fun movie to pop in every now and then and say, just think, guys, just think. If Ian Levine hadn't have saved those original Doctor Who episodes, these two movies would have been the closest you had to actual footage.
Oh, wait, sorry, who?
Oh, Ian.
Ian Levine. I think I've heard that name before.
Oh, let's not get into that.
I'm being sarcastic. Sorry.
I know.
He keeps himself quiet. He keeps himself quiet.
Let's not go there.
He's Sammy Carter's father, I believe.
Now, I want to see a DNA test on it. Okay. Okay. Well, we've ran on about it. We've talked about it. Let's go ahead and let's rate the sucker. Let's start with Kevin. Out of 10, how do you rate Daleks Invasion Earth 2158?
9.5 out of 10.
All right. So you really enjoyed this movie. Oh,
yeah.
Which is cool because you're a first-time watcher, ain't you?
Yep.
Well, that's great to hear that it still has some staying power. Okay, AJ, what'd you rate it?
I'll give it an 8.
All right. Harry?
6.
6?
I just wasn't impressed with it as much as I was the original Dalek movie.
True. It does. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the original serial has a bit more, lasting power, a little bit more strength to it.
Yeah, the first Cushing movie had more oomph to it than this one did.
Okay, William.
I gave it a 7.5. Due to the fact that Peter Cushing wasn't in it in a lot of the scenes.
All right, Graham.
Going by what we've discussed tonight, the pros and cons. Still a movie that stands the test of time. So roll the dice, theory. Lucky number 7.
All right, James.
I think I don't think it's fair to compare it to the original series many times. If I'm going to go in it how I enjoyed it without nitpicking, for a movie stance, 9 out of 10. The original series was a 10 though. But 9 out of 10 for the movie, for me personally, because I love the movie to death. I've watched it many times. So.
All right. Elijah.
Well, you're not supposed to take this too seriously, as you know this is not connected with the actual BBC program. As a standalone with the other one, I would have to rate this one a 9. It's just fun to, if you want to, just sit down someday, say, hey, I'll try something different, and you can watch a Cushing film. So, giving it a 9.
Okay, Alex?
Oh, I always like to take something for what it is. It is a mid-60s creature feature. It's got to be seen in that kind of context. And in that case, you've got to give it a high rating. I'm going to say an 8.
Okay. Me too. I agree with you. I'm going to give it a solid 8 because it is what it is. It's a fun romp of a movie. It's meant to be entertaining at a theater. It's not meant to be, part of a TV series or anything like that. And, you got all the actors were fantastic in it. The sets were great. Hell, the matte paintings in this one, especially that scene they set up with the Dalek saucer in the square. That was beautiful set up there. That's beautiful set design. And, and also the Daleks themselves, you actually see them flipping switches and stuff like that. You didn't even get that in the original serial. Okay, Tim, while you're back, what do you rate it out of 10?
It's a fun 60s movie. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I actually enjoyed it better than the first one.
All righty. So, yeah, we all pretty much enjoyed this. We got a couple first-time viewers who really enjoyed this movie, and it's so great to hear that these movies still have some staying power. All right, let's go around and get good nights from everybody. Let's start with AJ.
Good night, everyone. Catch you later.
Alex.
Sugar Pops.
Harry.
It's been a pleasure again, as always. I'll be around. You never know when I'll be showing up.
Okay, James.
Bye-bye, guys. Sorry for being late.
Texas Tim.
As always, thanks for having me. It's good fun talking about this flick.
Graham.
Always a pleasure as always, Brian. Till next week, dearies.
Kevin.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
You up next, William.
Thank you for having me here. Hope to be here next week.
And Elijah.
Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun, and see you next week.
Okay, folks. Well, everybody join us next week as we take a little jump into the 21st century. And once again, scientists are doing stupid things with dinosaur DNA. Yes, next week we're going to have a little talk about Jurassic World. So until then, everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Have a great evening.
Be safe.
See you later.